if you take information and turn it into knowledge, you're a fool. So it's all about implementation. Here and welcome to Unleash Your Marriage. And again, this beautiful soul next to me is my beautiful wife, my queen, my angel. She's also my amazing, intelligent business partner, Phyllis Savanh.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing today?
Yes, and we just wanted to, hey, first off, thank you for coming to watch us again today. And today's a really neat topic. Every Wednesday, we're going to be sharing you some business topics, either whether we learn it from a book or a conference or a course or a live event or something like that. But today's topic is really neat. It's really our top takeaways from Tony Robbins Business Mastery, where we just attended. He's not with the whole virus thing happening. He's actually doing it on virtual, just like most people are. And man, but he set it up to the extreme. I mean, really awesome setup that he's got going on. But we're able to watch it live on virtual event, and we're going to be sharing with you some top takeaways. And today we're going to share with you 3 takeaways from that. I mean, we took, hundreds of things away, right? It's not just these 3. So we'll be sharing with you an episode. So this is episode 1, where we'll share with you the first 3. And it's going to be some amazing stuff. So,
yes, please subscribe, like, or comment below, whether you're on the Facebook or or on YouTube. We just would love to learn from you and get to know you more. And feel free to let us know, if you learned something, you want to communicate with us about something. We just wanted to, connect with you and get to know you.
Yes. And then, so this is episode 1. So I'm going to share with you the 3 takeaways, and we're going to go back and forth with Phyllis here. But the very first takeaway that I got that we're going to share with you today is that the chokehold of every single business is always the leader, right? And there's 2 things that hold the leader back in terms of why the leader is being a chokehold to their business. It's either their psychology or their skills. There's only those 2 things, right? And for me, and Phyllis is going to chime in here a little bit, but man, that is so true, because I remember, so we have been, this coming October will be 16 years, actually 15 years total as entrepreneurs, business owners. And we have run multiple companies, from sales and marketing to electronic security, real estate, online digital courses, administration support. I mean, we've done those businesses. And if you looked at every single one of our businesses, I realized it's either when it's at its highest point, where it's just cranking, right? It's running all cylinders. It's maximizing, optimal. I mean, it's just cranking and running like a well-oiled machine. It was always my psychology, or in this case, our psychology, since we're business owners, or our skills. So when it was really just cranking, our state was just phenomenal. We were growing, we were learning, we were humble, we were modeling, we were just on fire in all areas in both psychology and skills. So, and then I look at some of the times when our businesses were in the sewers, right? In the dumps, I call it, or not at the level where we wanted to be, where it was struggling. And sometimes these are businesses that we're already running and starting. It's not just like we're starting it up. Regardless of what, it really was at the level it was at because of psychology, because of our skills. We would either stop learning because we felt like we knew it all, or our psychology, where our state wasn't there, right? Our attitudes, our mindset, our beliefs, behavioral patterns, all those things are part of the psychology of the leader. So totally true. I love this. And what about you? If you own a business or you run, you're a high level manager of a department or something like that, or a high level executive in your company, a leader, right? You're just a leader in your company or another company. What about you? Has your department fluctuated, or your business has gone up and down because either one of those 2 things, your psychology or your skill set? right? So let us know in the comment in regards to what you've ran into in this regard. So Phyllis, you want to share your take on that?
Yes, I totally agree. As women, right, we a lot of time are emotional, and also women, we are very hard on ourselves. And I noticed that, whenever I have a bad mood, a lot of time when I make the decision, the decision is based on that bad mood, right? How many times have you gotten mad and you just want to just wanted to push the hot buttons of your husband, right? Same thing with business, when you are in a bad mood, that's where, you usually tend to make the wrong decision. And I shared this, this quote with C's. I don't know whether it's called quote or not. I say, I don't know what I don't know. And sometimes I do know what I don't know, right? And I remember the very first thing that when I first introduced him that line, he was confused. He was like, "What are you talking about? Like, are you trying to like do a rhyme?" And I told him, I said, no, it's actually not. We really, we don't know what we don't know. And sometimes we know what we don't know, right? And what that really tells me and reminds me all the time is, I am the chokehold of my business. Kind of like what John Maxwell said, right? Law of the lid, right? You and your team can only jump so high if your lid is right here, right? So as a leader, as the owner of the company, as the leader of the family, for us, we just enjoy learning every single day, and for us, we go to an event almost like every month or at least every other month, and obviously kind of got slowed down with COVID and then got picked up because of the virtual. But for us, it's constantly learning because where you are to where you want to be usually is not the money, is not the resources, is not it's not the skills, it's just you, it's just how do you view this thing? Are you resourceful? Are you not? You are the only thing that can fix your current situation. I mean, do you feel me? Do you understand what I was talking about? Again, comment down below. I would love to see whether we are on the same page or not.
Awesome. And then the second takeaway is you just as a business owner really only need to make these little small 2 millimeter shifts in your business, right? And a lot of times I think because and I've seen myself do this as well. We're antsy, right? We're antsy. We're impatient. We want results, right? We want to achieve. We start a business. We want to want to make sure that the business is performing and successful, right away. And we tend to overcorrect a lot of times. And John Maxwell said it best, and Tony says this too, but we tend to basically overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in a century, right? Or in a decade, or, longer than that. But we tend to do that a lot because we try to make these big, massive corrections in our business. And I've done this myself. I've made, overhauled my whole company, several times. And really it's about making these small little shifts in your business. 2 millimeter shifts is what Tony calls it, little by little. And they compound, no different than money compounds interest over time, right? A good example of this is Tony shared a game of golf where you would think that, man, hey, let's bet on a game of golf, and let's bet on 10 cents a hole. And while 10 cents doesn't really sound so attractive, but let's make the game interesting. Let's double it every hole. 10 cents on the first hole, 20 cents on the second, 40 cents on the third hole, 80 cents on the fourth hole. Well, if you're playing 18 holes, if you do the math, that game of golf that started at 10 cents a hole, actually after 18 holes, after you double it every time, it ends up being like almost $14,000 in that one game. So now think again, 10 cents, yeah, I can bet on that, but doubling every time 18 holes, at the end of the game, you're either going to win or lose almost $14,000. Would you bet on that game? I wouldn't, because I'm not good at golf, right? So, and that's just a good kind of reminder that all you have to do as an entrepreneur, as a leader, right? As a leader of your company, just make small little shifts, right? You come into your company, and actually Tony gave a really good example. He came into his company in 2008 2009 when the economically, you know, everything was kind of, you know, burning down all around the world. But his companies kept growing. Why? Because he started making these small little shifts everywhere in his company. He didn't make massive moves at all. And he came into one of his companies, his educational company, and actually made a change just in one of the departments. And the cool part is he actually made a shift in a department that actually was performing the best out of all the departments. And he you know, he went after that one. He didn't have to go after the ones that were underperforming. He went after the one that was already performing the best, and he just made it that much greater. I think it, you know, it grew like, you know, 300-400% the next year, which is his coaching department. So just small little shifts, small little 3mm shifts. And then the cool part is when he came into that meeting, people were thinking that Tony was going to change the goal like 40, 50, 60, 70% changes. And he just came in and made 5% changes, 3% changes. When his people were thinking 20, 30, 40, 50%, he's making these small little changes, and it just made a huge difference in that department. So, Phyllis?
Yeah, I really love what Tony said about the 2mm switch. Because you know, a lot of time we are all overachievers and we just keep thinking about this big thing that we wanted to do, right? You know, it's like, you wanted to build a castle, but instead of putting one brick at a time, you just think about, man, I need to do this castle. And there's so much thing that I need to do. And then you just have this paralysis, right? Like, oh, I don't know what to do. And then you just hold on to it, right? And instead of doing massive action, because you're so overwhelmed by the end picture. And then you forget that, well, actually, if I take a little steps every single step of the way, eventually you will get there. That's why the 2mm switch is switching it here a little bit, switching there a little bit, and you will get to the result that you wanted to get. You don't have to change the whole thing, just tiny little tweak here and there. And sharing with you my personal story. My English wasn't really that good when I first met C's. I was the nodding girl, the Asian, nodding girl, right? Everybody talked to me. I just
kind of like, thank you very much.
Yeah. And but I know that was my chokehold too, right? The choke, just like the point number one, the chokehold is me. If I want to get a good job, if I want people to listen to me, if I wanted to impact other people, I need to learn well in English. So what I did is I went door to door selling product. I went door to door, and then I went business to business. It's just one door at a time, one business at a time, one business at a time. And after I get really good at that, then I went on the phone, because when you're doing door to door, it's face to face, so you can see how they are doing. And then after that, I got into almost like I was Caesar's assistant. So I was making a lot of calls, making appointments. And then I gradually promote myself into that, because now I can see them. I literally have to articulate well for them to understand me and to sell myself before they will make an appointment. But I think back, is like, wow, I have done all these things. I was so surprised and impressed by myself. So, good job, Phyllis, right?
That's good.
But if I thought about where I am going to be today, speaking in front of people, I was one of the top producer with, Keller Williams when I first started being a realtor. The result was just so overwhelming. But if I would have known what I was today, I might not start with where I was, because it's so overwhelming, but I just know that I need to do baby step, one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time, right? Kind of like the tortoise and the hare, right? At the end, the tortoise win because one step at a time, one step at a time, one step at a time. So, every 2mm tweak, 2mm tweak, 2mm tweak, before you know it, you got this big, dream or goal that you have achieved. And Tony really reminded us about this during Business Mastery.
Yes. And then, just to reiterate, Phyllis was great. She wasn't just my assistant. She was my partner, my business partner, but she chose to play the role of an assistant because she knew that in her, she needed to make those 2mm shifts, right? And so she decided to get on the phones. She decided to do administration stuff, which puts her in front of people. So that's a really great story to kind of explain, or really kind of a backstory in terms of how you shifted, you made those 2mm shifts in yourself to grow. So that's phenomenal.
And think about it, have you done any of these 2mm switch, right? Shift, I'm sorry, my Asian's coming out. in weight loss, in teaching the kids how to walk. I mean, if you have kids, right? Hey, walk a little bit, crawl a little bit, crawl a little bit, and eventually they now know how to walk, run, jump, right? It's just all the tiny little shift, right? What about you? Can you remember some of those? And again, comment below, because we would love to know about that too.
Yeah, weight loss is another good one to look at. I mean, people want the instant, result, right? Like, there was one point in my weight loss journey and health, I dropped like 30 pounds in like 21 days. And then the rest of the 3-4 more months, it took me almost 4 months to lose another 20 pounds. And I'm like, oh my God, 21 days and 20 pounds. But I understood that I needed to make those little small shifts after that, because I burned fat and now I'm building muscle at the same time. So I'm not going to lose that big of, so I don't have to overcorrect myself, because if I did, I would injure myself, right, in health. Yep. So, so the third takeaway is fall in love with your clients, not your product. Okay. Fall in love with your clients, not your product. And when you do that, what you end up doing is you find out what truly are your clients' fears and their desires, right? What they fear the most and what they desire the most. And when you can do that, you definitely can over deliver. Once you understand your client, you fall in love with them, know exactly why they buy, then you market yourself according to how they buy, which makes a ton of sense. Because if you, fall in love with your product, which, look, we all have that where we believe in our product and all that stuff. We get that. But if you just fall in love with your product, not your client, you're going to sit there on the top of the mountain and scream how great your product is, and nobody's going to care. Why? Because everybody is thinking about, if you sit there and sell a car and say, oh, this car has all the bells and whistles, right? It's screaming, it's fast, it's this. Well, you're talking about the features of the car. But your client's like, well, I came here because I want to, make sure that the car is safe for my family, right? That the safety rating is high, that it's got great gas mileage so my family can save money, that it protects my child in a car seat, right? That, it doesn't burn up, it doesn't catch on fire. So when you talk about the features of that, when a family's looking for that, and your clients, that's what they're looking for, and you sell them that, and you stand there and say, yeah, well, this car has the best safety rating. You can put your car seat in here. This is how it's designed so that it's specifically made for a car seat. It's never caught on fire. And it doesn't break down. It's got saves your gas. Well, now you've won, right? You've won versus the other salesperson that talks about how great this car is. Does that make sense? So because when you fall in love with your client, then you can market to them, you can talk their language, and then your conversion rate in terms of the leads that are coming into your company will be significantly higher.
Yes, I totally agree. I agree with what C say, and it was a great reminder from Tony, during the business mastery about it, because with this COVID-19, right? I mean, I know that your business, is most likely get affected. My business too, C's business, Tony's business, right? We are, their raving fan. We always attend all the events because it was just so good. It just get us into the body, get us in great state. And with this COVID thing, we register for 2 events and they're both canceled. Technically, every event that we have, they're all canceled. And we're like, man, we're having, Tony withdraw. But Tony is so in love with us, right? With his client that he's like, man, there must be a way. There must be a way that I can deliver to my client, because they're suffering right now. So I need to help them think outside the box, be resourceful, and do what they need to do best, right? So then he spent, I think, $9 million, right, babe?
Yeah,
he spent $9 million to build a temporary facility. And now the UPW is virtual. The business mastery is virtual. And because he's so in love with us, because he is so in love with their client. That's why we are all raving fan of his, right? We just keep going back.
Yeah.
And because of, because he's not stuck in, oh man, it has to be a live event. It has to be this way. He just say, I love my client. What can I do to get my product to them? How can I be creative? How can I be resourceful? And that just remind me and, C's about this, because we do this what we're doing right now, relationship, great face-to-face one-on-one, because again, you know what, where do we come from? You know, we start door-to-door knocking, and we're great at networking, but this online thing was so different, right? We have to be in front of a camera, we're kind of nervous, right? This technology thing, you know, I was frozen for a little bit just now because my internet wasn't doing well, and I don't know how to figure out the chat, you know. But again, you know, but I know for a fact that you know, I am in love with you. You know, I want, you know, we want you to be good at your business, and we want you to be good at your relationship, because once upon a time that was us, right? There was us that was so overwhelmed and being swallowed by the business, and we don't have any more to give in our relationship, and we end up almost file for divorce. And luckily, again, Tony actually brought us back. So we're very grateful to Tony. And I just think that, you know, again, fall in love with your client. Don't focus on what you can provide them physically, you know, but what do they really want, desire, love, right? How can you solve their problem? Because again, Tony also said, you know, if you know how to solve problems, money lies behind the problem that you solve for them. And if you're connected, you're loving them, you know how to solve that problem, because they know that you love them, and you know that you love them. So are you in love with your client, or are you in love with your product? You know, if you're in love with your client, how and what do you do to express the love and care that you have for them? You know, again, comment below. You know, we'll love to learn from you, because I know that you're very smart too.
Yes, and you know, if you take information and turn it into knowledge, you know, you're a fool. So it's all about implementation, right? So for us, when we took these three things away, it's about really just applying, right? The chokehold of a business is always the leader. It's always the psychology of the leader. It's always the skills of the leader. So we essentially are always going to grow our psychology and our state and control and maintain that. And we're also going to be, you know, learning new skills as we evolve, so that we can impact your life. So we can always add value to you. And when you make those 2 millimeter shifts, like what we're going to do, just like this, we can't do live events. That's what we're normally used to. We could have changed our whole business model around. We could ended our business, but we decided to pivot, make this 2 millimeter shift to follow a leader like Tony, and pivot to this, where we're live, we're virtual, we're creating courses, we're recording stuff, we are doing live events, we're doing challenges, doing all kinds of stuff, so that we can get our messaging to you, our story to you, our knowledge to you, and our love to you, right? To deliver it to you. And then for us, you know, loving you, it's automatic. Why? Because if we love our product and service, then we're basically always going to be improving our product and service to increase sales. Well, if I love my client, then I'm always thinking about how can we add value? How can we over deliver every single time to basically live out our core mission, which is to impact your life? How can we add value to you all the time? Whatever we create, how can we over deliver? So if you fall in love with your client, like what we are doing, we will always look at what is in the best interest of you. How will you benefit? How can you take the product, the information, the knowledge that we're giving you? How can you apply that to your business, your life, your career, your relationship, your family? And that's basically how we are shifting ourselves and applying, you know, our love for you. That's the three things. So takeaways are great. Awesome. So I really thank you very much for listening. We're going to be sharing, first off, there's some links below if you want to click on some free training, including if you want to learn more tips from us, you know, please visit our YouTube channel, where we're going to upload more tips there, more takeaways there, and, you know, and a bunch of stuff. Like I said, we have designed our whole company around relationship. So majority. But then we realize that there's other things that affect your relationship, which is yourself, your state, right? Your own potential, your family, how you integrate your family into it, and your career, your business into your life. And those are the four major spheres of influence in your life: yourself, your family, your relationship, and obviously your family. So we'll be sharing everything, quite a bit of information, content on our YouTube channel.
So our 2 millimeter shift, you know, after Tony Robbins, is we're going to be doing 2 live every single day, Monday to Saturday. On Wednesday, it's a business day. We're going to start at 3 o'clock at Facebook Live, and at 3:30 we're going to do a YouTube Live, and we're going to do another 3 takeaway today from Tony Robbins, because there's just so much that we wanted to share. So if you have enough of it, then, you know, have a wonderful day. But if you want more of it, you know,
Good
wait for
evening.
5 minutes and see us on YouTube. And we're going to share with you even more of, you know, the takeaway that we got from business mastery. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very
I'll
much.
talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.